Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Let's say someone calls you a wolf and say, hey, Gigi is a wolf. Will you immediately call everybody else to let them know that you're not a wolf? Would you call that person and say, hey, I'm not a wolf? Would you then show up in public and say, people, I would like to break the news. That was a lie. I'm not a wolf. Do you need to do that? No. Why? Why would you care? You're not a wolf, right? Unimportant, correct? Correct. What if people would call you a wolf? Would you care? I personally wouldn't. I don't give a shit. Now, if you have to do all that, come and say, make phone calls and all that, there's a problem somewhere. There's a problem. You care about something. Maybe it's true. I don't know. No, that gets me to this article that I have here. That is regarding the statement that Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Union Commission or something like that, made regarding Ukraine's losses in military terms, personnel. She stated that, and I'm quoting, 100,000 Ukrainian soldiers were killed in this war. And then the Ukrainians immediately, through Ukrainska Pravda and all these guys, said, well, that's a lie, that's not true. And then it was a Ukrainian general who said, that's confidential information, there's no way she knows anything, that's not true. Anyway, that prompted the European Union to redact or to edit that part from her speech and took it out. All right, fair enough. And then they come now with the numbers. After a day, after, what's her name, von der Leyen came and said that this amount of people, the number is this. Now, I don't care if that's true. I don't care. Really, I don't care if it's 3 million or if it's 5 people. One is enough, you know what I mean? For something that other people dictated. That's what bothers me. So now the Ukrainians come and say, let us set the record straight here, okay? Okay, tell us, because we believe you. You always tell the truth, especially during a war. Remember that? Say, the first victim of a war is truth. Now, this article comes from Ukrinform. It is from today, December 1st, 2022. Ukrainian President's Office says Ukrainian army lost up to 13,000 soldiers since war started. I still think that we have the right, as free people that we are, supposedly, we are still free to think. And we are, I think, still free to doubt or confirm certain kind of information or certain kind of statements that someone makes. Even if that information is true, I still can say, I don't believe it. And what would you do? Would you arrest me for that? Would I get in trouble for that? Or say, well, you're just an idiot, Emil. This is the evidence. Well, I think that's the extent to the penalty that I should be paying if I don't believe or I have questions. Question is one thing, but not believing is a different thing, but I just give it to them because I'm, generous. It's always good to argue from a lower point. Why? Because then by the time you come back and hit the guy, this distance looks like you come from 10-0 and you beat them with 20-10. You know what I mean? But if you start with 9-10 and you do 11-10, barely made it. That's why I like to lower myself. And then when I bring my evidence, I bring so far that the guy is back that I can fucking see it in the back mirror. Okay? So they say this is the amount. All right, good. Good for you. It is, it's not, I don't care. It's beyond me. I mean, it's like, I don't care, as I said at the beginning. But we still have the right to doubt anything anyone tells us without any, how should I put it, concern of any retribution that might be dispensed on us. Don't you think? As human beings. Well, if someone says, well, I'm a human being, and I say, no, you're a frog, what would you do? Do I go to prison for that? Do I lose my job? Or are you going to say, Okay, Emil, whatever you say. That's the way it used to be. That's the right person. Oh, whatever, Emil, okay. Yeah, okay, I'm a frog. Ha, ha, ha. Move on. You're not going to call the police. You're not going to report me. You're not going to try to get me fired. You're not going to try to get me arrested. You're not going to try to get my kids kicked out of school. You're not going to try to do anything of that in a normal, intellectual, normal society. So, let's move on here. The Ukrainian army has lost up to 13,000 soldiers since Russian invasion of Ukraine started on February 24. Okay, according to Ukrainian Mikhailo Podolyak, an advisor to the head of the president's office, said this on Ukraine's Channel 24. It's weird that they have to say, well, I'm not a frog, and nobody is allowed to say I'm a frog, and you get in trouble if you say I'm a frog. We have official estimates, I'm quoting, from the General Staff that are official estimates given by the Supreme Commander-in-Chief, and they range from 10,000 to 12,500 to 13,000 dead. That is, we are openly talking about the number of those killed, Podolyak said. Yesterday, it was that guy who came up and said that's confidential, that information is not released. And all of a sudden, it can be released. That's so strange. That makes you, instead of easing the suspicion, I think it creates more suspicion, because you fight too hard to try to convince people of something. And if people say, well, I just don't want to believe that, then they will work harder. You have to believe it somehow. If they would have the chance, they would arrest me, or someone who would say, well, I have some questions here, give you a scenario. Well, I have some questions here. If I would be in Ukraine, I think I could be arrested. I mean, in Germany, you're arrested if you have questions about certain historical events, if you know what I mean. If you say, well, the Second World War did not start in September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded, Poland. If you say that in Germany, nobody will give a fuck. Whatever, man. Fuck you, Emil. But if you say, well, actually it started in the 3rd of September, 1940. Okay, Emil. Nobody will arrest me. Nobody will tell me that I deny anything. But if I say that something, I have questions, I don't have to say that's not true. I mean, I have some questions. I need some clarifications, for instance. You say, my clarification is, for instance, is that true about? You get 5 years in prison. And I can tell you the exact law that in Germany that doesn't allow you to speak publicly. This is it says like this: the laws the Germans have is Section 130 of the Penal Code, German Penal Code, is regarding incitement to hatred, and under this code you are prohibited from publicly denying, and the penalty is 3 months to 5 years in prison. So I guess that would qualify to Ukraine as well. If someone would say, well, maybe they're not 13,000, maybe it's 13,001. That one will mean that you deny the official statement. That means you have to be probably incarcerated. What country is that? Remember, so far Ukraine banned some political parties, banned some media outlets, and now they're working on banning Christian denominations related to Russia. So religious freedom, fact. Freedom of the press, fact, right? And the other one was what? What kind of country is this? Freedom of assembly, freedom to vote. What kind of country is that? And don't tell me, well, it's a martial law. It's martial law right now. Even under martial law, you don't make these kind of things unless, you know what I mean? And believe me, under a martial law, under the umbrella of the martial law, a lot of crimes usually happen in countries that institute that. You don't believe me? Just, you can take this, or you can take a few books, okay? One book will be enough, just to give you a little history of the martial law in other countries and what that meant. And you just do it for 24 hours. In that 24 hours, you have enough time to pick up all your political and social and military enemies in your country and take care of them. It happened in Romania. It happened in the civilized Germany. Remember, Germany was the most, and still is, one of the most civilized countries in the world, educated as well. Now, why do you think that is not happening in Ukraine? Give me a few examples. Oh, because it's not happening. I got that. So anyway, as I said, I don't care what's the number. I care only that people die over there for other people. And they think they die for their country and for their nation, defending that and this and that. And actually die for some other people's money and other people's influence to do something to other people and get what they have and enrich themselves. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. The whole weasel thing. And people are killed, nations are destroyed. And as someone said, whatever these guys are touching turns into dust and misery and pain and whatever. Look at the democratic Iraq, for instance. That's a good example. And free and all that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.